Hey guys, it's Kevin with Lake Warrior here. We're gonna do the video walkthrough today. This is the much anticipated thing that everybody was kind of curious about on the channel. We're gonna walk through the house. We're gonna talk pros and cons, just kind of conversation about what we did with the house, why we did it, design choices, construction choices, pretty much everything. So buckle in and let's have some fun. Okay, walking in here, one of the big changes you're going to see to the kitchen, at least, is this humongous island that we decided to add in. If you remember before, our whole cottage was basically from this wall inward. So our couch, our TV, all of that was all within this area. So now we have this wonderful island that really is the hub to our house. And for lake weekends, we use it all the time. You know, you can put the food out there. People can eat there. People can drink there. It's just really useful. The other thing we did was with our old island, we actually cut it down and added this whole area right here, kind of like a bar / coffee bar area, wine storage, which I'll show you lights up. It's pretty cool. And we also upgraded the refrigerator size. And in general, we just sort of made the kitchen just a much larger place so we could entertain. On lake holidays, it's where everybody hangs out. It just becomes really useful to make this a bigger space.
So one of the things that we did here, this cabinet, we chose to do an inset cabinet, and you can see that the face of the drawer is flush with the frame of the cabinet. That's like a kind of a classic cabin detail that we chose to do. Down here we did this curve around the toe kick, which also is a special little detail here. So one thing that we decided to do here to kind of open up the space a little bit, we decided to go with some custom shelving, open shelving, which is kind of all the rage, but you have to think about it in a very practical way. So because of the small footprint of our kitchen, we wanted it to be more open. Well, the open shelves really help with that feeling. However, it can get very cluttered. You almost have to think of it, as a display shelf. Here we chose to make the island a different color than the rest of the kitchen. The cabinets, we painted this beautiful tricorn black. And then we had this beautiful hickory top made by our Amish friends. It's beautiful and we love it. Then over here, if you come over here, we also had some hickory storage made to blend into our cabinetry. We really wanted to mix different textures and finishes throughout the whole kitchen. So one thing that we did with the small house plan, every inch counts. So you can see we recessed this in. This is our little entryway. Since we didn't have enough room for a closet, we recessed this in, put hooks here, and that's where we store our winter clothes. Right here, we wanted this ladder not to be a trip hazard, but we needed the ladder. So you can see we used a couple inches. We recessed that in for ladder storage. And then over here, we had a little extra room to recess in this TV so it doesn't stick out. So it lets our aisle be nice and wide, so nobody bumps into anything and everything's nice and tucked away.
Hey, Aim, are you up there?
Yeah.
Can I come up?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, this is our fun little treehouse space here at the lake house that the kids just love. And anytime you can build a little space in like this, it's pretty cool. So up here, we did add some cool elements like the wallpaper that we put in from on the back wall, and you know, some fun linens, little bits. We even added some little birds, you know, just to make this a fun and playful space. Moving over through here, so this used to be our old patio door. Now this is what we've added on. We added the living room, which as you can see is kind of amazing, with the staircase, the large windows looking out over the lake. We did a great little stove here, which is fantastic in the wintertime. And then as you can also see over here, we worked in an entertainment center, built-in floating shelves. And this just was really great in terms of space, because a lot of stuff there is tight to the wall, which allows us to, you know, have more room in here. It's not a really wide space. It's only 16 feet. So, you know, we had to kind of consider where people would sit, but then also for Amy and I, where we would sit most of the time when we were watching TV and, you know, having the evening to ourselves, 98% of the time.
So one thing that we really love about the openness and light in this house is that we're able to have a lot of plants. They have a lot of indirect bright light that really just lets them thrive. It adds, you know, it adds a layer of life. It brings the outdoors in. It livens up our very neutral kind of base. Pale colors, our white walls and our black and our wood, it just adds a layer of life to it.
So the other thing you'll notice here is this sort of our entryway. What we did with this is we had to bring the plumbing, the HVAC, all of that had to come up on the side two areas. You can kind of see where the main stacks had to go up and down. So what I decided to do was take advantage of that space, and we sort of built in this bookcase area along with some storage. Now, this is where I store my DVDs and Blu-rays, which I still love to have. Conveniently, we can actually unscrew, you know, we have 4 screws. These can come out, and if we ever need access to go up and down again to get into the house and be able to run wires or whatnot, we can. This side over here, we added sort of a cleaning closet, vacuum, you know, all of those utilitarian things that you need are in this side, which is very handy as well. So another feature that I really sort of just came up with as we were sort of working through this was the ceiling, the underside of the loft. These are our actual joists exposed, and we covered them with 1x12s. And then on the underside of the decking to the loft, we added beadboard. We just glued it straight up. And then you also notice a lot of times whenever I'm doing a beam or something, I don't want it to ever end exactly flush because it never looks right. So I dropped the side of the beams down just a bit, you know, 1/4 inch, 3/8, enough to make it a purposeful thing. And that allows it so it doesn't look like a mistake if it's not perfect. But you can see this really, you know, just adds to the sense of volume in the space. And for me, it just gives a little bit of detail that you wouldn't normally see in a house. It was a lot of extra work, probably a little bit of extra money as well, because we had to do all the 1x on the side. But in general, the ceiling here just kind of makes our living room. So we were really happy with the final outcome of the ceiling. So the last thing down here that I really want to point out is this spiral staircase. You know, this piece was by far one of the hardest pieces to install. We got it as a kit. It really was well made. It was custom made to the size that we needed, which going back, I'm glad we did that. It was a little extra money to do it. But as you can see, it interfaces up onto the front of our loft, comes down exactly the right height, so the steps work out just right. This piece was really hard to install, mainly the railing. This thing was essentially a helix that we had to bend from a circular roll of aluminum. So that was a little weird. That was very hard to deal with. And then each one of those spindles had to be anchored and attached. So that was another thing that just took a lot of time. But we, Amy and I went through that and still are married today.
What's the story you want to tell when you're decorating? Right now, we wanted to tell the story of a lake house. Fishing, swimming, boating, outdoors, family fun, summers. That's the story we wanted to tell in our interior.
We go here into the master bedroom. As you can see, this is pretty much an amazing oasis that we feel fortunate every day to have when we wake up and look out at our view, which is pretty amazing. We do love this. And again, you can see why we needed the privacy from the lake. So you can see the actual blinds installed there into those upper boxes. That made it so we could have put one inside each opening, but then we would have had to have a blind, each blind in each opening, and every blind costs X amount of dollars. I think they were like $400 or $500 per blind. So what we found was if we went with a bigger blind that could cover 2 windows, it was still $400 or $500 versus $1,000 for 2 windows. So that's why we put them on the outside. Made it a little bit cheaper. I still think it looks fine. It looks great. It kind of gives it kind of sort of like a crown to the window. So we weren't too worried about that. As you can see here with the glass railing, when you're sitting on the bed, you pretty much see right through the rail. Again, we went with the glass mainly for the sightline to the lake. It's 1/2-inch thick tempered glass. It's very strong. It would take a sledgehammer beating on this to be able to break it. Actually, the weakest spot is probably where it connects into the front of the actual floor joist. The other thing to know on this glass railing, the glass itself actually wasn't that expensive. The thing that was the most expensive was the connectors. They were pretty pricey. So that's just something to know about the railing.
All right, so one of the things that we did in here and actually throughout the house is we wanted to layer on different textures and different textures onto the design. So on the interior walls, we covered those with shiplap. We didn't want the shiplap everywhere, so on the exterior walls, we did drywall. That helped a lot because we didn't have a lot of exterior wall because we have so many windows. Another thing we did is we covered this ceiling with tongue and groove pine, and then we offset the kind of rustic tongue and groove pine with these high gloss, shiny black beams. Layer it all on and it looks great together.
Each one of the beams, we put LED strip lighting. So especially in the summertime, it's a lot of fun. We could turn our house a color, red, blue. We can run animations across each beam. So it's kind of a really fun thing. If we want to have a nice little blue glow at night, we can have the whole house sort of blue, glow blue. So it's really fun and kind of exciting just to be in a house that's sort of very theatrical, I guess you could say. Windows up here were a huge consideration. We viewed the windows as if they were paintings. What you see out of them becomes really important. What you don't see out of them becomes really important. The other little tip that we figured out was if you go with windows that are fixed, they're substantially cheaper. So for example, these rectangular windows here, we have 6 of them. They were $200 a piece. If those were to open, they were going to be closer to $400 or $500 a piece. So it was substantially cheaper. The other thing is the custom window shape up here, the triangle, those get more expensive as well. But we just wanted to have it. We thought it made the exterior of the house look nice, but also it just lets a ton of light in, and we really love it. The other quick tip with windows on a lake, you have to consider the wind. And we ended up going with sliding windows here, so that way the wind doesn't take it like a typical casement window. If you crank the casement window out, it becomes a big sail. So the windows that do open here are either awning windows or sliding windows, which really helps with wind. So we can have them open on a windy day, and we have no worry of them sailing off. Okay, so looking at the bathroom, one of our choices here was to leave the top actually open. This was in an effort to just sort of make the overall house feel more open, and also the light from the window back there could come through the upper area and sort of fill the ceiling with a little bit of light. So walking in here, the first thing you're going to notice is, of course, the double vanities, which we love. This was the biggest thing for us in terms of the renovation, was this whole back area. And at this point, we are actually up and over top of the old house, so we built over it. And I wanted to make sure I didn't use any of the structure from the existing house, so this is completely up and over with new floor joists that are completely independently supporting this floor. The other thing in here you'll notice is the tile floor, which runs throughout the whole bathroom and into the closet, and this whole area is heated. So this was important to us. We wanted to make sure we come into our closet, we can walk on warm floors. The other thing we did here was we took our laundry washer dryer and we brought it up here from the basement, which before this is quite the improvement, because the basement used to have a dirt floor. It still has a dirt floor. So now our washer and dryer up here, which is really great in this sort of nice little niche that we really couldn't put a whole lot up here. So the washer dryer fits well. And then the other thing we did was we did built-in closet organization. We didn't go crazy with this. This is from Menards, nothing too expensive. We just wanted it to be nice and organized. We were able to get by with the closet organization for under a couple $100, which was really wonderful. The other thing you'll notice is we have the LED strip lighting in here. That is awesome, courtesy of our friend Lee and Travis. It lights everything really well, very specifically. It's all controlled from a Lutron dimmer right here. So you can see as it dims, boom, it's off. But in general, our closet's wonderful. The heated floor is fantastic. And the washer and dryer, we'll never do this. We'll never leave a closet without this again. I mean, it's fantastic to have in your closet. The other thing is we have this great shower, similar styling to our shower below downstairs, subway tile. The heated floor runs into the shower. So yes, the floor and the bench is heated. We chose the subway tile. It's a fairly cheap material. It's a lot of labor to do, but Amy is awesome at it, and she took care of doing all of that. We have a little small awning window in here, which we love. I love looking out each morning. You get a chance to see the lake, and this morning the fresh snow was really kind of nice. But this is a really wonderful way to wake up in the morning as you shower. One thing that we've done downstairs as well is we had these custom cabinets built for medicine cabinets, and this one was 5.5 inches deep, so a lot of our gunk and stuff can be stored there, which is really nice. And then we did also a floating sort of shelf above the cabinet. That's just a piece of hickory that we stained up and use as a ledge, which is nice to use. And our Amish friends made our vanity. Basically any of our cabinetry, all of our cabinetry in here has been made by our Amish friends in Shipshawana, who are wonderful. River Woodworking. Yeah, and as you can see, we simply step out. There is a step down. You step down and nice. That was freaking awesome, and thanks for coming on the ride with us. This was a video that was sort of summing up our entire project. We've done 3 other videos, Lakehouse Renovation, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, that details sort of the nuts and bolts of what we did. And this video was really just hoping to sort of be a culmination of all of that. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. We really worked hard to sort of express what it took to do it. We're going to continue to work hard for you guys. hoping to make a series of videos that really deep dives into each and every one of the things that we found to be essential in our renovation, and really give you guys all of the information that you need to understand it, to break it down for yourselves, share it with a contractor, or DIY it on your own. So this is Kevin with Lake Warrior. Don't forget to smash the like, and then also please subscribe. I'm trying to build that subscription up. So have a great day, guys.